been there a couple of weeks after we'd purchased it, and Jan rang me up and said, listen, Rob, when are you going to come and get this boat? And I said, oh, well, Jan, it's all right, can I leave it there for a couple of weeks? She said, yeah, sure. Well, it was there for 7 years.
When I had the old girl moored outside our house at Norman Park, and every day my wife Jan used to say, well, bye-bye, bye-bye. Down on the boat I'd go, and there's always jobs to do on a boat. And it was good, it used to keep me busy.
And it wasn't really part of the deal, but having Ron continue on and more than helping out, he was looking after the boat and still had a really active part on it, was just a real bonus.
So Rob needed someone to drive her for the start of the Brisbane to Glasgow yacht race. She was the start boat for that. And so yeah, it was really cool. I got a phone call and he said, oh, I own a boat called South Pacific 2. And he went to describe the boat. Said, stop right there. Yes, I will do it, whatever it is. And yeah, so I was really excited when I got that call.
A great transition from this legendary veteran of Ron to Jacob. He's 23, he's got the brain of a 75-year-old. We have a boat full of adults, but somehow Jacob's the most responsible person, the youngest, but the most responsible person on board. Felt really comfortable that the boat's always been in good hands. This next generation of skipper.
And it was good with Ron because we sort of did a bit of handover. I wanted to get as much out of him as I could. And it was really nice when we did the handover. He gave us some old photos of the boat and whatever, and he gave us the old logbooks. And he said, you know, have a look through these. And his note keeping was out of this world. I don't know how he had time to even write all these notes amongst all the other stuff he was doing. But yeah, it's got like every spot he used to fish and what fish they were catching there, on what tide, what wind, everything. And he was nice enough to give that all to us. And so we keep that on board. And he tried to get as much knowledge of it as I could. So and he's really helpful and always willing to help out.
Been on the boat with lots of different skippers, and they were all very capable, but always felt so safe when Dad was at the helm, because I knew that we'd, you know, get to a safe port.
She's gorgeous, really nice to drive. So came from a 100-foot milk raft called Lady Brisbane, very long and skinny and no bow thruster, so you're sort of getting used to that already. And obviously this has no bow thruster, which isn't a problem. So you just got to get used to the engines being really close together, so you don't have a lot of leverage in terms of when you look at your game boats and things like that. Nice big rudders though, behind just behind the props, so not a lot of distance there either, so that makes it really easy to manoeuvre, and plenty of power with the GMs as well. So really, she'll do anything you want. In terms of close quarters manoeuvring, she's really easy. Plenty in the water, so it doesn't get blown around. Nice and heavy, 80 tonne or so. So she holds her own really well. And then underway, holds a beautiful straight course. You very rarely need to touch the wheel. You do have to get used to it first. She does oversteer if you play around with the wheel a bit too much. So if you just sort of leave the wheel and just let her do what she wants to do, she does it really nicely. And then into a head sea, obviously with a bow like that, is no worries at all. Following sea, she rolls a bit, but they're all going to do that. So yeah, no, she's gorgeous.
In 2022, South Pacific 2 and Jacob played an integral role in the creation of an event that was to make a significant impact on the classic boating community, an event that became known as the Moreton Bay Classic.
I basically, did kick off just a bit of banter, us overtaking Mahokoi, and then Paul off Mahokoi said, you know, we should have a race, let's settle this. And then I sort of started thinking, and Paul started thinking, well, it'd be cool to see all of these big classic boats. Probably don't realise when you're, you know, been in the industry for so long, but even as a kid, see these boats going across the bay and you think, oh, geez, like that's as good as it gets, you know. And so it would be cool to get, maybe we could get 5 or 6 of these guys together, you know, and get them in to do a line across the bay. And then we put an event up in the first week. We had like 20 people entered, and then it ended up with about 75 entries. It was amazing the way it took off, and I think it just shows how much interest these old boats still ignite.
When it came time to name a trophy for the occasion, one name stood out: Ron Jenyns. As a skipper, Ron has charted Moreton Bay, the Coral Sea and the wider Australian coastline prolifically, and needed no introduction in the boating community.
Now, you worked this out once. You used to say, I've done enough sea miles to circumnavigate the globe 3 times or something.
42 rings a bell with me all the time when I'm talking about it.
It's at least 42 consecutive years, I think, is the important thing.
Yeah.
42 consecutive years you did Cairns,
Yeah.
and then all the stuff out of Brisbane, all the charter work out of here every
we did a
weekend.
lot of charter.
I don't think there'd be very many boats that have as many miles under the keel as this has, with the same engines, with the original engines.
I'd love to know how many sea miles it's done.
I think it's done about 40-odd thousand miles, so well, that's 400,000 miles straight away,
Yeah.
10 knots, so probably that would be a safe bet, I guess.
Yeah.
Led by founding boats South Pacific 2 and Mahokoi, the Moreton Bay Classic attracts classic boats of all sizes, styles and speeds. And so a wonderful annual tradition was started, one eagerly awaited on the boating calendar, embedding an ongoing tribute to the seamanship and contribution of Ron Jenyns.
The ones on my starboard side can come forward. The ones on the port side are looking great. Look at that, so good.
Time to stand by South Pacific 2, Mahokoi and Valley High.
Here we go, guys. We're ready to take off. Let's do it.
It's time to go Mahokoi, South Pacific 2. Start.
Okay, we're away.
The race is
Going to be
going
close. Here we go, got Mahokoi, is actually going pretty fast. Worried about her, where's Belly High? Still behind us, that's good.
Full throttle.
Holding the throttles down.
I noticed this is full throttle.
Not full, no, not full.
I've never driver that RPM.
He hasn't for an hour?
Just under 15 was where I drove it.
Yeah, but for an hour it's alright, is it? We're gonna replace it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
We might get the tow showing back to Manly.
Yeah, but we are putting new ones in.
Luckily the Bryant boys, who that's the best sponsorship ever they could do to sponsor the race, because they'll be
the victors.
fixing 20 burnout motors on next week.
So true.
I just never pushed the engines like that.
So this is it, Rob.
I reckon we'll line up and bring the line up clear.
Valley High,
Mahokoy.
Buffer Hole's actually just up in, we're just about to pass that shortly.
Belanda, Coral Sea, Lady Mac, Dresser 6, Guinea.
No, they're all well and truly up there.
Go.
That's all. That's it. That's all she's got. Right, bring us home, Ron. We got it. We got it. Here we go.
Skip up.
Okay, Rat, who's the winner?
Looks like we're winning against Mahokoy unless they're holding out for the last minute.
Oh, you still got 300 reps, haven't you?
Yeah, we need to keep these till the end of the season. But Ron was concerned with the speed we were doing, so we knocked it back a little bit, and we're still doing well.
Except for this play, Mahokoy.
That's it. Beauty, that's what we want to hear. What was that? Did you hear that, Paul? Awfully quiet back there. Between her and that green beacon there, that's the finish line. Yeah, well, let's see if we can beat Nordsana. Come on. Go! Really, here we go. Beat him. Body ripper. All over a driver. Keep Mahokoy. That's the main thing.
Hi there, Skipper. You made it ashore, mate.
I just wanted to say thanks very much for coming and for making such an awesome event. It really was cool to see so many of my favourite boats out in the bay, and I'm sure all your favourites as well. Great event. These boats can't be replaced, so keep throwing money into them. It's endless, I know, but just keep doing it. It's good for you. And I must also thank Billy Wright for chucking some, he did most of the handicaps as well, so if you're upset about anything, he's the man to talk to, all right? Not me, not me.
Bill Wright made sure I couldn't win. Jacob and me become very close. Jacob's about to spend too much money with Dave Fussell. Well, actually Rob is the poor guy over there, you know. So it was never in doubt they were going to beat me. But you know, we were overwhelmed with the support. This is incredible. Just to get all this many boats, this many people out in one day is amazing.
He is a bit of a legend around the bay and the whole Queensland coast, really. We have, of course, the man here, Ron himself.
I just wanted to say, you know, how from the outset, how thrilled we are as a family to see Dad being honoured like this. You know, it came out of nowhere and it's just fantastic. He certainly had a big life and he's certainly done a lot of sea miles in South Pacific. But it's fair to say his favourite place is right here boating on Moreton Bay. So what a great tribute, Dad. And I know he is very humbled by this recognition of a lifetime spent messing about in boats. So on behalf of the Jenyns family, thanks again to all you organisers. Three cheers for Ron! Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip!
And of course, we all know the winner, who did very well, exceeded all expectations. We've got Coral Sea.
What a day. What a beautiful day.
Everyone had a great time. It was amazing seeing about 200 people on the beach, having a barbecue, all just talking about boats, which is like a dream of mine, really. See all those classic boats anchored out off the beach was really a sight to behold. And Ron's doing really well. he's loving it.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah, he's loving it. And seeing him here actually at the wheel, he drove, he probably drove over half of the race.
Yeah.
And he was having a ball, a smile on his face the whole time. He loved it. And then it was a cool moment when we overtook South Pacific 1, which was his original, or his dad's boat. So we overtook her, and yeah, in amongst all these boats. So how good's that? She's going in now for Wrights at the end of the year for her last big push to finish off her refit and get all that done. She's done a lot of work, and so she deserves a bit of money spent on her.
With the inaugural Moreton Bay Classic a resounding success and the GM motors surviving their full throttle swan song, the next destination for South Pacific 2 was the Norman R Wright Sons shed and her major refit.
We need to do some work in the engine room, and we need to do some work replacing fuel tanks, and replacing fuel tanks is triggering another, like seems to happen, triggering another half a dozen other projects. And over the mind to let's just get it done now rather than in 10 or 20 years' time. So that's going to happen this season, and we're getting ready for that now. Basically, modernise the engine room and set us up for the next however many years. Everyone's got a view on what sort of motors there should be, and the overwhelming advice was that the Gardner was the best fit. We did look at more modern motors, and they just didn't have the capacity or right size to do what we needed for this boat. So we leaned towards what was proven and well known and people were comfortable with. And so yeah, we're going at this point with a Gardner alternative to the Detroits. It was up to Ron. He'd put another 100,000 hours onto these existing motors, but I think it's time they were retired.
With the refit now underway, stay tuned for further episodes where we take you through each area and phase of the boat's rejuvenation. And be sure to catch up on episodes 1 and 2, tracing the extraordinary stories behind the boat's origins, history and adventure. South Pacific 2 returns to the water in 2025, and the team at SP2 Charters are giving Coastwatch members a 10% discount on any charter. Book the adventure of a lifetime from the Whitsundays and Lizard Island with a premium catered charter and world-class fishing action aboard the famous and fully refitted South Pacific 2. Contact Rob at sp2.com.au for further details. Australia's Classic Boats is exclusive to coastwatch.com.au. Stay tuned for further episodes and subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Coastwatch1. Don't forget to join the Coastwatch Club at the Coastwatch website.